You do not yet know the true power of the dark side. Star Wars. Hi guys, it's Quinn's Ideas here, and as you guys know, I've been watching all the Star Wars movies for the first time ever. This is my review of the second movie, which is actually episode 5, which is really confusing, but it doesn't matter. Empire Strikes Back. And the good news is, Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, is miles better than A New Hope. It's pretty much better in every way imaginable, and I'll get into that in this review. So as someone who's never seen this movie before, I will describe to you what happened in this movie. So this movie opens up and the Empire is sending out all of these probes to find the rebels. They destroyed the Death Star some time ago, so they're sending out probes everywhere. And they finally locate them. They're on this like messed up ice planet. And so we see Luke and he's like back. He's a little bit better with the Force. He has this fight with the Yeti. Chops his arm off. Wasn't quite as gruesome as the arm slicing scene in the first movie. I mean, that was like kind of gross. There was like bubbling blood and it was like gross. But here it just kind of like, it seems like it was a little bit more sanitized. But super cool. We see like Luke get to use the Force and then he ends up actually in some serious trouble and has to be rescued. And then the Empire attacks and it's very, very, very exciting and dramatic. I actually did like kind of enjoy those like big things. I don't know what they're called, like walking in the snow. Those were pretty freaking terrifying. But the curious thing that happens, Luke gets into trouble and we see an apparition of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he tells Luke, go to the Dagobah system and find Master Yoda. So while everyone else is off doing something else, Luke is kind of like on his own quest, like on a vision quest to find his true self and to find his true strength. And I think that's really cool. So Luke goes to the Dagobah system to be trained by this mysterious Master Yoda, while Han Solo and Princess Leia and the droids flee from the Empire in the Millennium Falcon. So Luke gets to Dagobah, his ship crashes, and he finds this little green alien. I know that's Yoda because I haven't been living under a rock, but I guess if you were seeing this movie for the first time, you would have no idea that this is actually Master Yoda, because he's kind of like goofy and whimsical, and then suddenly he just straightens up at some point and he says, I cannot teach this boy. And then eventually he decides to teach him, and he's like, so he's training Luke on Dagobah while they're off being chased. So I have to say, also, the Force as a concept has never been clearer to me than when Yoda explains it in this movie. In the previous movie, Obi-Wan Kenobi, energy force that surrounds everything and yada yada, that just sounds like a bunch of, vague cliche nonsense. And I mean cliche even in context for the time. That's a concept that pops up in all sorts of fiction. But when Yoda comes in and he explains it within the context of how they interact with it as human beings, the dark side of the Force being giving in to your negative emotions and letting, the inner monologue kind of rule you and letting the lower self kind of rule you. And then the Jedi being, not giving into your emotions and, allowing your higher self to come forth and take charge and, resisting. And that's very like Bene Gesserit, that's very Bene Gesserit versus Honored Matre, and I like the concept a lot. So for the first time ever, the Force makes a little bit of sense to me and doesn't sound like complete woo-woo. A cool part of the movie is when Princess Leia and Han Solo get chased and they have to hide inside of this asteroid. And they're kind of bickering, kind of flirting. I actually enjoyed their interaction in this movie. I thought it was cute. Definitely the height of the asteroid scene, though, is when they realize they're inside of some weird worm's mouth and they almost get eaten by this giant space worm. Not technically a sandworm. It's in an asteroid, so not technically a sandworm. But yeah, they almost get eaten by this big worm in space, and that was a really cool scene. I enjoyed that a lot. What I liked most about this movie is it mainly centered around Luke and his internal thing, his struggle with, finding who he is and finding purpose. Can I really do the things that I'm supposed to do to save my friends and to move to the next level? Can I really use the Force in the way that they say I can? You can tell that Luke is definitely having growing pains and struggling with his identity. There's a very curious scene where he goes in a cave And in the cave, there's Darth Vader, and Luke kills Darth Vader, and then behind the mask is himself. I don't know much about Star Wars as a whole, but I could see that scene a few different ways. Maybe it means that, this could be you. You could become this thing, and maybe by killing it, he's choosing his fate there. Or maybe it's saying, by striking down your enemy in anger, you're no better than him, and this is the death of you too. I don't know. But I like the fact that it's not telling me. I need something to think about when I watch a movie. And, I felt like A New Hope was just very go, 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 pew, 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 action, action, action. And this one had the cool pew, pew, pew moments and action, action, action. But it didn't have, it also had the deeper moments that I really enjoyed. And you know what else I also really enjoyed? The Floating Sky City with Lando. That was freaking awesome. And also, that's got to be one of the greatest betrayals ever, right? I kind of didn't trust Lando at first. Then I kind of did trust Lando. And then I was like, oh man, Lando. But then I trusted him again and he was cool again. So that was that. Okay, Floating City, Gas Planet. That was so cool. I gotta admit, that was really freaking cool. I don't know what to say. It's a really cool concept. It was really cool to see. Lando is a really cool character. I enjoyed all their interactions. Han Solo being frozen in carbonite, that was really intense. It was really, really cool. So that whole sequence was really interesting to me, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I did feel really bad for C-3PO when he got taken apart and got put all and Chewie was the only one that cared. Chewie was the only one that even gave a crap about helping out C-3PO. I was so mad. I was if I lived in the Star Wars universe, I would be fighting for droid rights. I was droids deserve rights. You will give the droids rights. Otherwise, I'm coming at you with my laser lightsaber sword. Be careful with this. I borrowed it from a friend. So one of the biggest moments in this movie, it's one of the most iconic moments ever, is when Luke actually comes face to face with Darth Vader for the first time. They have a lightsaber battle, but it's pretty freaking clear from the beginning that Darth Vader is just kind of not really. It's like that scene in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince when Snape kills. Let's not spoil things. It's like that scene when Harry's trying to fight Snape, and Snape is just not even trying, just whatever, dude. I'm so much better than you. That's basically what this Darth Vader Luke scene was like. Except Vader was also trying to tempt Luke to kind of just give in to his anger and to join the dark side, and so he will know the power of the dark side and the true force. And Luke is no, you killed my father. And Darth Vader is no. I am your father. And Luke's all that's impossible. And he gets literally he gets downright strident at certain points. But anyway, Luke actually ends up getting his hand chopped off. What is it? People are always getting their hands chopped off with lightsabers. These are dangerous weapons. Gets his hand chopped off. He falls down this shaft. And then another cool thing happens. He reaches out to Leia. He calls out to her telepathically somehow, through the Force or whatever. It doesn't have to make total sense. I totally understand that. So he calls out to her through the Force, Leia. And then I actually really, really enjoyed the subversion of the role switch, because this is not something that you typically saw in movies, especially back in the day. Luke becomes the damsel and has to be rescued by Princess Leia. And I was yes, yes, yes. So also, I have to commend Princess Leia as a character, too. She's a badass. Princess Leia was badass in the first movie. She's pretty badass in this one. She's she's running shit. Princess Leia is running shit. And I really, really appreciate that character. I bet she was a great role model for kids of all kinds. So, I see why so many people have so much love for that character. It makes a lot of sense to me. And of course, there was another character that showed up, one that I did know about because his character's been, parodied so much, and he's all yeah, I am big floating head guy. I was wanting to see more of this guy. I think Palpatine is his name, but he didn't. He did all in this movie. He's just like a big floating head guy. So I imagine that he'll show up more in the next movie. So it's curious that you don't really like the structure of the Empire is still vague. It is still vague, but it's curious to see that there is someone above Darth Vader, some sort of mentor figure. So that's really interesting because, like, how powerful is this guy? Because Darth Vader, this dude is powerful. So I said in the last review that Darth Vader choking people was one of my favorite things. Well, in this movie, he's choking everybody. Everyone's just getting choked. You're getting choked. You're getting choked. You're getting choked. And he's choking. He's freaking choking people like across open space, and people are just like passing out on screens and dying. You know, I would never work for Darth Vader. I would just join the rebels. Like, because like he's gonna kill you anyway if you mess up. You might as well just join the rebels. Like, Jesus. So, long story short, Empire Strikes Back, way better movie than A New Hope. Just way better in every way. It was better paced. The story was better. The character development was better. Costumes are better. The sets are better. Everything's just better. It's just an improvement over the first movie in every imaginable way. That being said, I don't regret anything that I said about A New Hope. I still think that, like, nothing made sense in that movie, and people got mad at me with the way I was describing it, like I wasn't taking it serious. I'm like, the movie itself is not serious. A New Hope felt very thrown together. Like, it's just like, we have no idea what we're doing. And Empire Strikes Back, it feels like it's been, like, readjusting. It's like, okay, we have an idea of what we're doing. We know how this works. We know what the story is. We have themes now. It's not just, like, basic whatever all the time. So, yeah, I do not regret the rating that I gave A New Hope. But Empire Strikes Back, I had fun watching Empire Strikes Back, which I can't really say for A New Hope really too much. I thought it was kind of boring, like I said. But Empire Strikes Back, it gave me some things to think about while also entertaining me. And that's what I like. That's what I need. So I think I would give this movie, honestly, a solid 8 out of 10. I tend to go for way headier sci-fi in general, but I think Empire Strikes Back so far is my favorite of the two. And next, we'll get into Return of the Jedi, which is Star Wars 6, and that'll be super exciting. So thank you guys so much for watching. I had fun watching this movie. I had fun making this review. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Quinn's ideas. Definitely follow me on Twitter. There's so many kooky antics happening all the time. Peace out, guys, and may the Force thing that people that like Star Wars say. He's using the Force. Oh. What's your name, dude? See this guy? He's cute. He's cute, I'll be finding out a little bit about this guy in that once I get to that show that everyone loves. Baby Yoda. So cute. So is he like Yoda's baby? Is that the deal? Don't tell me. Peace, guys.